Would it be really weird to say that this place kind of reminds me of the lanes in Brighton?
Yes. From South Korea! Woo! We are now in country 12 of 13 on this trip. It's crazy. This morning we have come to Gyeongbokgung and we're doing a little palace tour today. So in South Korea you can get what is called a palace pass. So you get like a discounted ticket for all the different palaces around in Seoul. So we're going to be getting that and going to as many palaces and cultural sites we can see today. Today is our culture day. Yesterday we did go to see 2 museums. We went to see the National Museum of Korea and the War Museum, but we didn't film it just because I don't think you want to watch a video of us just walking around looking and reading. So we missed out on that one, but today we're hoping to show you a lot of South Korea, Seoul in particular, and the culture here. So come on, let's go with us! Yeah.
So this is me at the start of the day saying that all of this trip today should be walkable. We've plotted it all on the map and it makes a nice little route. We're going to be hitting 5 out of 6 of the palaces, which does mean we will be missing one. And hopefully we won't need to take the subway to get between them, but we'll see at the end if that's actually possible.
Okay, we got our tickets. So we got the combination pass, and this includes tickets to 4 palaces and 1 shrine.
Okay, so we made it inside. It's a little bit confusing because the ticket office is off to the side. It's not actually, well, it's not actually where you go in. But anyway, you get the book of tickets as we showed. It costs 10,000 won, which is about £6. So it's not that expensive. It actually saves you 4,000 won if you do it the way that we did. And the tickets are valid for 3 months from when you buy them. So there's no rush. If you're spending 3 months in Korea, you might as well pick it up because you'll have a chance to go see all of them. This palace is the biggest one, as I understand it, out of the 4 palaces. And then there's also a shrine included as well, which I'm hoping we're going to get to see.
It's also, I would say, seemingly the busiest. But don't quote me on that. I feel like it's going to be busy everywhere, but it's quite busy.
Yeah, Seoul seems quite busy during the day anyway. There's a lot of students or people of school age around and it's a weekday, so I'm not sure if we've come during a school holiday or something like that, or whether it's just always that way. But either or, this place is super cool. The scope of these courtyards is crazy.
There are a lot of people dressed up in the hanbok, which is the traditional dress in Korea, which is really cute. It's very nice to see lots of people in it. And apparently you can rent a hanbok, and it's about 10,000 won per hour. So it's like fine to dress up in. I looked this up as well. It's like you can do it. So if that's something you're interested in, you can rent one.
So the palace grounds are super beautiful. It was really lovely walking around there and seeing all of the old buildings and all of the restored areas of the palace. It's super, super pretty. I will say there's not a massive amount to do besides look at it, but there is an attached museum. So we're heading towards the National Folk Museum of Korea, which is in the back corner where one of the old pagodas is. So we're going to check that out and have a look inside. So I think there's a bit more to see in the museum, but we've got to get a bit of a wiggle on because it's almost midday. But before we go, I've spotted something very important. For the record, I never end up buying anything in the museums, but skipping the museum is non-negotiable. A couple things to unpack from that trip though. First of all, I feel really sorry for the mum in there with her 2 young kids. The kids seemed really, really well behaved, but one of them was intent on buying a book that was in Korean. So the whole time we were walking around the shop, the little girl was like, oh, I want this one, I want this one. And I was like, but you don't speak Korean. So that happened. Also, one super cool thing that we've noticed about shops in Korea, like gift shops and stuff, they have like a stand outside for you to put your cup in. So if you've got a coffee or a drink and you can't bring it inside, you've got somewhere to put it. Genuinely genius. So I think we've just scratched the surface for this palace, which is a bit of an unfortunate thing to say. If we were here longer in Seoul, we would definitely check out the whole thing.
I think I would also, there's free tours every hour. If we had a bit more time, I think we would do that. Because there's not much like boards with information on. So I think having a tour would be good. And since they offer free ones, why not?
Yeah, why not? And I think, yeah, I think we're in a way going for sort of quantity over quality here. We want to get around everything that we can because we've only got one day to do this. So I think this is as much of this palace as we're going to be able to see. So we're now making our way over to the Hanok village. I will put the proper name of it here. It's escaped me right now. So we're heading over to the Hanok village. It's about a 15-minute walk. So let's get started. Hanok? No,
Hanok is the clothes.
Yeah, Hanok. Yeah, Hanok.
I thought it was Hanok.
That is Hanok. Let me sort that out.
Okay.
So where I got Hanok from?
Hanok is the dress.
True. In my defense, I am dyslexic, so I probably just saw them as exactly the same thing. There's my excuse. So we're going to walk our way over there. It's about 15 minutes, and we're going to try and nab some food on the way. We've heard there are some food stalls there, but I'm pretty hungry. Yeah, we got bitten last night on trying to find night markets, so let's just grab something safe if it's on the route.
So for lunch, we're going to have a kimbap. So we are really enjoying our 7-Eleven lunches. They're not technically 7-Eleven, it's an E-Mart, but it's basically 7-Eleven. And they do these delicious things called kimbaps, and they also do onigiri, which I love. And they're basically like massive sushi rolls. And it's wrapped up in nori, got the rice, and then whatever flavor in the middle. I went for bulgogi, because I had the onigiri, which is a triangle version, yesterday. It was so good. And it's just a perfect little lunch.
So a 15-minute walk later, and we're coming up off the street here. It's quite an unceremonious entrance, but I guess it is actually a residential area where people live. It's just a bit of a heritage site because of these old windy streets. I've seen these signs everywhere, and I kind of wanted to know what it means. So I put it in my phone and ran it through Google Translate, and in English these signs actually say subscribe to paperbacks and passports on YouTube, so that's pretty cool.
And fun.
It's pretty interesting that people actually live here. Like, these are people's houses. As we just stood in front of one and took a bunch of photos trying to get the pose right, but it's literally someone's front door. So I guess that's kind of strange. It is pretty cool. It's really nice, but I think it's kind of hard to really get the most out of this when there's quite a lot of people here, which, as I said, is like perfectly fair enough. That's how these places work. Like, everyone's entitled to go everywhere, so it's going to be busy because it's quite a touristy spot. But it's quite a narrow alleyway. and you're kind of you're walking through so many people's pictures trying to get up it. So I don't know if it's worth the hype.
Let me give my 2 cents. Hi, camera. I think that it's like, I think it's a very, very cool to see. It feels like very traditional and very, I don't like using this word, but authentic. But yeah, I think it's quite busy. I think it's worth doing, but maybe come early. maybe come early. I think we're here but probably a bit too late, just because like Carl said, it is quite narrow, so you are kind of like not fighting through the crowds, but I don't think you can soak it up because you're worried about like being in people's pictures. But I think it's worth coming to see, but if it's quiet. To our next stop, which is another palace called Changdeokgung. In this palace is meant to be a bit smaller.
So the cool thing about this palace is there's actually two parts to it. So we've got two tickets. I don't know if that's really coming up. There's the entrance to the palace, which I think is around the other side. I think we're trying to go in the exit at the moment. And then there's also a secret garden, although it's not that secret because the ticket says about it. So, sorry, Seoul, your secret is out. We know where the garden is. But we're going to check out both of those. One thing I did see, and we'll talk about on these tickets, I'll put a better picture of it on the screen as well. The secret garden ticket says not valid for entry on the ticket, which is kind of confusing. Now, I looked this up online because a lot of people had the same questions, and actually what that means is the secret garden is inside the palace and has a separate ticket to the palace, but the secret garden ticket saying not valid for entry means not valid for entry to the palace. So you can't go see the palace, leave, and then go and see the secret garden, because you won't be able to get back into the palace, so you won't be able to see it. I hope that kind of makes sense. And if you're wondering what ticket office looks like, there it is.
But we don't need to go to the ticket office because we have our palace pass.
Yes, and you can buy the palace pass, don't know if we already said this, you can buy the palace pass at any of the palaces. So you can do these in any order, don't have to do it in the same order we did, and you can just pay your 10,000 won and get your palace pass. Well, 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 if it isn't my old friend. The gift shop.
So fun fact for you, don't look behind me, was that this main entrance was used by the royal procession, so like the king would come through here to enter into the palace. I have a few more fun facts for you about this palace. Don't mind me as I look off to my left, just quickly. So this palace was built in 1405, and then in 1592 it was destroyed by fire during a Japanese invasion. So then in 1610 it was reconstructed, and then again it was, what? It was destroyed. I'm just so surprised by my knowledge, by the way. In 1623 it was destroyed again after a military coup, so it was then built again. And then it was destroyed again in 1917. That's crazy. So then in 1991, that took a while, the restoration project started, and now it's like how it is now. So that's my fun facts. And now we're moving on to a bit of the practical information about visiting. So we got a bit confused because behind me there's an entrance to a palace, and we were like, but are we not already in the palace? Is this a different palace? And the secret garden is next to it. And we were like, well, if we go into the palace, do we go into that palace first, or like we'll be able to get to the secret garden? I don't know. So that palace behind me is actually a different palace. So just so you know, you'll need a separate ticket for that palace, or it is also included on your palace pass. And Carl's just come over to me. I think something's gone wrong. What's happened?
Yes. Right. So, Secret Garden works a little bit differently to what I thought. You actually have to do it on a tour.
Oh, I don't want
And there's
to do
only
that.
a set number of spaces on the tour. So, unfortunately for us, the tour is sold out until 3:30. And it's currently 2:10.
I don't really want to do a tour, just because I always said earlier, like we're on a tight schedule and I feel like a tour would take up too much time.
Yeah, and also we'd have to hang around for an hour and 20 minutes until the next tour starts, and obviously we can't leave because you can't get back in.
So maybe not.
So maybe not.
This is a really nice shop. Just smile for me.
It's quite nice.
Yeah, that's cute.
Okay, so
I gave some facts.
You gave some facts?
Yeah, I knew so much knowledge. I just
Good
had
job.
to look to the left.
Very good. So we've got two palaces quite close to each other. So we're now heading through the next one. The woman on the gate did offer us the opportunity to join one of the, well, to come back through, even though the ticket has that whole thing about re-entry. So it looks like if you go through that door from this palace, you can actually re-enter in order to do the secret garden tour. So you don't have to hang around quite as long as we thought you would. But the tours do still sell out, so it's probably worth coming a bit earlier and going straight to the kiosk to try and get your space on the secret garden tour. That would be our little hot tip. But we're making pretty good time. Yeah, I'm quite surprised.
I think you definitely could spend way longer at these palaces than we are. We're just trying to like make sure we see them all before the day is over. The day is getting away from us.
And to be honest, we probably could have spent a bit longer at the palaces, but you know, it is what it is. We're just doing as much as we can.
We're doing as much as we can, but I also don't feel like we're missing out. I just feel like we're seeing, sorry camera, we're seeing like everything we want to. Feel like we've got a feel of the place. And then we're going to the next place.
And temple fatigue is real. And I'm not going to pretend that we have infinite capacity to view palaces and temples, because I think 4, 5, maybe even 3 in one day is really our limit. Yours might be different, but I do feel like we sort of stop appreciating things after we've been walking around similar places for
the whole day.
3-4 hours. But that's just us.
Came out of this beautiful gate here. Beautiful gate. And that one is Hongwamun Gate. And now we're gonna head over to Jongmyo Shrine. It's about a 20-minute walk from here. I think we're both kind of flagging a bit. We're both pretty tired. We didn't sleep very well last night, so we're very tired. But yeah, this is the last coming up to the last 2 stops. We're making great time. I think things close about 5 o'clock and it's now like 2:30, nearly like, yeah, 2:35. So we're making good time. And then I think afterwards we're gonna probably sit, maybe get a cup of tea or something, and then go for dinner. We're debating what to get for dinner. Part of us is like, if we have the energy, we're gonna go to a night market because we didn't get to do that last night. If we don't have the energy, we'll go for a sit-down meal. Either get bibimbap or get maybe a Korean barbecue. We'll see.
So if you're wondering at all about how we actually planned this route around the city today, a friend of mine recommended the Palace Pass. It wasn't something I'd heard about before coming to the city. And he recommended that we pick that up. And I went on, I'm using a tool called Google My Maps, and I'll put a link to this particular Google My Maps because they're shareable in the description for this video. But basically what it lets you do is plot out all of the places you want to go and then organize it by layers. So I just did 1 layer per day. I put all of the things that I wanted to see and all of the places on the Palace Pass onto a layer, and I could see that it kind of made a route. And then from there I just went on Google Maps, like regular directions, just to see whether or not it's walkable between them, which is where I found out that Google Maps does not really work in Korea. City Mapper seems to be working, so we're using that instead. But it was a case of just checking point to point whether or not it's walkable. And most of these walks are 20 minutes max, so it's definitely doable. If you do want to check out the map though, have a look in the description. You'll be able to see where we went and follow our route, because I think it's a pretty good one. And I could probably find a bunch of blogs online that also did this route, because it's a bit of a no-brainer. So we made it over to the shrine. So we made it over to the shrine, and one thing we found out while we're here is it's currently undergoing renovations, which is something I found out online, so news to me, but it's currently undergoing renovations, which means it's only available to be, well, entered into at certain times. So you need to go with a tour during the weekday, but at the weekend you can go in at any time. So it is a weekday for us, which means we've just kind of sat around for about an hour. And we're just heading back over now because there's a tour at 4 o'clock that we should be able to join, but it does mean we are going to be on a tour, so we won't really be filming much of us in there. Instead we'll just get some nice clips and we'll talk about it afterwards. It's a surprise tour for us, but it's a nice way to end our last, I want to say palace of the day because it's on the Palace Pass, but it isn't, it's a shrine. So the shrine on the Palace Pass. we'll let you know how it goes.
Please remember, today's important keyword is Confucianism. The main building is under renovation.
Okay, so we've just come out of the shrine. Tour has been completed, and I think that was my favourite one.
What, that we saw?
Yeah, I think out of all of the palaces...
Is it because we had a tour?
Yeah, I think it might be. It's really interesting to find out a lot more about it, because the other ones have got information placards, but they don't have a huge amount of info. Whereas that one, obviously, she was telling us pretty much everything that was going on, and yeah, it was super interesting. Would definitely recommend doing that.
Our fault you didn't enjoy the rest of them as much because we should have done the tour.
Okay, I still enjoyed them. I had a good time, but in hindsight, should have really planned to do the tours. So if you are planning on doing this, I would plan to do the tours, honestly.
So now in true Gemma and Kyle fashion, we're gonna go to a night market. It's still kind of bright, but we're gonna head over there and try and beat rush hour and have a drink and then get some food at the night market. So catch us over there.
So we made it to Myeongdong food market. Or I want to say, well, it's Myeongdong.
It's a walking street.
Yeah, that's a better way of putting it. Because when you look at this place online, they mostly talk about the department stores and all the designers and all that kind of stuff. But some friends of ours who have a YouTube channel as well went here and ate at the night market. Because I think when we say night market, we kind of mean food street, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
So we're here, we're hopefully going to try some stuff. We've got a list of things we really want to try.
Let's see if we can find them. If not, we're going to eat some fried food. Actually, 30 seconds later, oh, we got our first thing. This is an egg bun. Kyle, what is it?
It's weighty. I don't really know what it is, to be honest. All I know is it's like bready, eggy, and we normally waste a lot of time walking around, so I thought we'll just go for it today. Number one, the egg bun. It's sweet.
It's sweet?
It's like a cake with an egg on top.
Oh.
Kind of interesting.
That's what I thought it would be too.
I mean, it's nice. Interesting.
This next up, what have we got, Kyle?
I have no idea how to pronounce this word. I think it's tteokbokki. It's basically like rice cakes in like a hot kind of tomatoey kimchi sauce. And this is the thing I was most excited for coming to Korea, so let's see if it lives up to the hype. Oh my god, it does. I love the texture of the rice cakes. They're like savory Haribo. They're like really chewy. And then the sauce is like really spicy, really like rich, really kind of like, it's got that like gochujang kind of smoked flavor to it. Oh, it's so good. It is so good. Gemma, you need to try this.
The flavor? It's so nice. It's so smoky.
It's miles better than the one we made at home.
No, I like that.
So good.
Can we get one? Yes.
Gemma's turn to take the virgin bite.
Yeah, so we first had one of these in Malaysia at Jalanalor. Is it Jalanalor?
Yeah, Jalanalor.
So hopefully this is good.
We went for the onion flavour for the records.
It's like, it's almost cheesy, a cheesy kind of flavour. It's like a cheese and onion crisp.
Oh, amazing.
Really good.
So, do you want to tell us what this is, Gemma?
This is a potato cheese hot dog. It's basically a corn dog, but it's covered in potato chips, and it's got mozzarella cheese in there as well. So I think is it raining or am I being dripped on? Anyway, we had one of these in Taiwan, but we didn't have it with the potato chips, and it was honestly the best thing I've ever had in my life. I've been dreaming about it ever since. So we saw it and I had to get it, and this time we got it with the potato. So let's see how good it is.
I guess it's a lottery as to whether or not it's cheese or sausage on top.
Right, got bread. 1 second, camera.
That cheese ball.
You'd expect it to be like so heavy and so decadent and like not good, but it's honestly really light. It's like a mozzarella dipper, but like a bigger, bolder, better. Magnificent. Carl's taking one for the team because I'm quite full. And he's got a money bread. It's a cheese-filled pancake thing, waffle thing.
Let me tell you, it smells crazy. It smells really sweet, which is interesting, so how that goes.
Whoa, whoa.
Okay, I love cheese. I love this type of pastry in this kind of way.
Does it go together?
But for me, together, I don't really like sweet cheese. And this is quite sweet and cheese, so this one's a miss for me. Things kicked up a little bit, and we decided it's probably best to finish off. We've eaten quite a lot of food, but it wouldn't be complete without dessert. So we finished on an Oreo churro, which is pretty good. We've had a little nibble of it, but everyone knows what Oreo tastes like, so I'll take that with soft serve. It's pretty good.
So I think that's it for now. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Goodbye!